want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Ruel. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing his word in the four winds of the earth. Shalom to you few sincere sisters out there as well. It's Brother Ariah coming at you with another, the love of many shall wax cold. It's an article I have. It says, unarmed teen cried out for his mother after off-duty guard fatally shot him 6 times in the back as he ran away. It says an off-duty security guard was arrested for killing an unarmed teenager. He is accused of shooting 6 times in his back. It says Aaron Brown Myers, 51, is facing charges of second-degree murder and second-degree assault for the June 5th incident, which happened in the parking lot of a sporting goods store in Renton, a city located just 10 miles south of Seattle. The teenage victim and 2 of his friends, all 17, were heading into a Big 5 store to return a BB gun, according to a copy of the criminal complaint obtained by the Inside Edition Digital. It says police said Myers told them that he saw the boys and believed they were trying to rob the store, so he approached them with his gun, according to the complaint. It says Myers indicated that he conducts overwatch at the location as he has seen numerous crimes occur in the parking lot in the past. And Myers stated he saw 3 individuals walk in front of his parked vehicle. Myers noticed that one of the males had a gun, which he believed to be a Glock, down by his side. And Myers then saw the male put the firearm into his waistband. Myers continued to watch the males walk through the parking lot where he believed they were going to commit an armed robbery at the location. Myers said that he felt like he did not have time to call 911 and that he felt he had a duty to act to stop the individuals from hurting someone innocent. The boys immediately put down the BB gun and assured Myers it was not an actual gun while complying with his orders. According to the complaint, Myers then proceeded to strike one of the boys and pin him to the ground. Then moments later, fatally shot another teen, claiming that the boy had attempted to grab a gun, the complaint said. It says a review of the surveillance footage did not match up with Myers' version of events, according to the complaint, and instead showed a man escalating the situation with more and more violence. And it says the footage allegedly shows Myers approaching the boys with his gun drawn and pointed at them, according to the complaint. It also allegedly shows the boys repeatedly telling him the weapon they appeared to be carrying was a BB gun, and it does not show the teenager who was killed reaching for a gun at any point. Okay, and it says the footage also shows the teenager's final moments. And it says when the victim hit the ground, he called out for his mom's, says the complaint. Okay, so the love of many is most definitely waxing cold out here, man.
Police now searching for a woman who stabbed another woman to death in Midtown last night. Still so many questions about exactly what led up to all of this. But now we have new video that shows the moment this all happened.
Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate is live at the scene. And Phil's been there for us all morning long. Phil, anything that we need to know this hour?
Yeah, well, right now the search is on for this young woman's attacker after she was stabbed to death. Well, police tell us that this all spiraled out of control from some form of argument between 2 women. But this morning, well, we caught surveillance video as this incident was caught on camera. I want to get straight to it right now. Take a look at your screen as we can see people with 2 children walking nearby down the street. And just a few moments later is when you see the woman police are looking for in a white T-shirt who walks up to the 22-year-old woman as a fight breaks out. Now, we are not showing the next graphic moments during the fight where the young woman was stabbed multiple times as onlookers stood by. Now, the street where this young woman took her final breaths turned into a crime scene, and right now it's still unclear what led up to this heightened situation around 10:15 last night, which unfortunately got out of control here on West 40th Street. Now, the 22-year-old woman was stabbed in the chest. She was taken to a local hospital, but she could not be saved. And for New Yorkers and tourists, first. They say this isn't the city they once knew.
The city's unsafe. It's not like it used to be. I mean, before, we did have crime, obviously, but not to this magnitude. It's overpopulated with homelessness, mental health issues. So, I mean, it gets chaotic, one argument into another, and then it leads to this.
It seems like things are changing. No, I would never have thought that this would be a place where stabbing would happen right next to where we're standing. No.
And police tell us the suspect is a woman who was last seen wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. She is still at large this morning. Police have not made any arrests. Well, as for the identity...
A woman accused of stabbing her father to death in Queens will be extradited back to New York today to face murder charges. Police arrested 30-year-old Anna Kavak at a New Jersey rest stop last week. They say she stabbed her 70-year-old father repeatedly in his home on 109th Avenue in South Ozone Park 1 week ago. Kavak reportedly told investigators her father had been abusive.
5:04 now, and the fight to reinstate congestion pricing seems to just be beginning. Later today, we expect to hear from...
To a stabbing in Canarsie, an 18-year-old woman died in that situation in daylight. Police say a person of interest is in custody tonight. Chopper 2 was over the scene on Seaview Avenue earlier today. We're told the victim was stabbed in the armpit and rushed to the hospital, but later died. All of this unfolding near a restaurant in Seaview Plaza at around 11:40 this morning. No word on what led up to the violence or any possible charges tonight.
It's a triple shooting in their complex. A mother and her teenage son in the hospital at this hour. The alleged gunman dead.
All this violence playing out earlier today at the Johnson Housing Project. So what started it and why? Eyewitness News reporter Sonia Renton. She's live at the scene for us. Sonia.
Yeah, Bill, police are investigating this as a case of domestic violence because there was a past romantic relationship. Though the two people involved did not live together, the suspect in this violence died this afternoon of what was believed to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And there are two survivors. They are a mother and her young adult son. They needed surgery this afternoon for their wounds, and they are in stable condition. Neighbors in the building tell us they were surprised not to hear the shots, only noticing the commotion when 3 victims were taken out and rushed to Harlem Hospital at 12:40 this afternoon. It all happened in a 9th floor apartment here at the Johnson houses, where sources tell us an armed 45-year-old man appeared at his ex-girlfriend's home. Her 19-year-old son opened the door. The 45-year-old man opened fire, shooting the 19-year-old in the arm and torso and shooting his 40-year-old ex behind the ear, then turning the gun on himself. Neighbors tell us the woman and her ex both grew up in this complex. Domestic violence victims advocate Stephanie McGraw spoke with the woman's heartbroken family.
I cannot tell you if there's any history or not, but what I can tell you, because I'm an expert and I'm a survivor of domestic violence, that you don't just pull out a gun. It leads up to that. What are the red flags? What were you ignoring? What you didn't see? Was it any services of help? This is why we're here in our community.
Her organization is headquartered nearby and came right to the scene. She noted that just a year ago, another woman who lived in this same building was stabbed to death by her ex-boyfriend.
Until we really start to address how serious domestic violence is and gun violence in our community, we have to say to the people in our community and to the people and the powers that be that we are fed up with all this violence.
Now, sources tell us...
You have been listening to a news conference by the NYPD, essentially updating the public on a sexual assault that occurred yesterday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Casino Park in Queens. 2 13-year-old students forced into a wooded area. Police describe a suspect in his 20s, said to have a tattoo on his chest, appeared to be the tattoo of a bull. He forced those kids into the woods, tied them up. The 13-year-old girl was sexually assaulted. They were able to get away from that man once he left the scene. They reported it. Police were called in. Right now, a $10,000 reward is being offered to find and identify the suspect in this sexual assault.
You heard police say no stone unturned. They're adding additional resources to the area, officers, drones, anything they can to help find this monster responsible for this. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu is live in Flushing with more details. And Janice, you see some of those resources already deployed at this hour.
Yeah, I mean, Sandra, Pedro, I mean, this is an immense use of resources by the NYPD to track down what they're calling the animal who sexually assaulted a teenager. And as you guys mentioned, some of the officials with the NYPD just finished up an update. And I want to run through some of the updated things we learned. So we know that these two 13-year-olds, one boy, one girl, they are schoolmates. They had left school for the day. They were in the park hanging out when they were approached by this man. They say had a machete-style knife, told the kids to come with him. They refused, and that's when he told them to shut up, is it in English. That is what he told them. And then they were led into a wooded area. Police say that the two were tied up with shoelaces. The girl was sexually assaulted, and he told them, this man told them to wait 20 minutes before wait 20 minutes in that spot while he got away. At that point, the two teens went over to the school where they told adults, and that's how NYPD was notified. Now, what is happening now is investigators are going through all of the security footage in the area. They have people still searching the crime scene. We're told the victim left a water bottle at the scene, so they are analyzing that right now. They did find a shoelace in that area, so they are checking that for any forensics to see if that was the shoelace that was used in this crime. They also said that they are deploying drones and installing more cameras in this area to make sure this community feels safe. The interviews have happened. Again, crime scene still searching the area. They're trying to get search warrants for the victims' phones as well. And so at this point, they're also trying to look at to see if this crime matches any other pattern, any other crime that may have happened in this area or New York City in general. So a lot of things to look at, but they are asking for the public's help when it comes to identifying who this perpetrator is. So just a quick rundown on who, again, that description. It's a man in his 20s, possibly Hispanic, 5'5" with curly hair. He appears to have braces on his teeth and a large boar or pig tattoo on his chest. We are told he spoke with a heavy Spanish accent. At the time that this happened, he was wearing black shirt, black pants, red sneakers, and a green backpack. So again, if you have any information, anything big or small, there is a $10,000 reward for any information leading to arrest. So please call Crime Stoppers. That's 1-800.
I-Team 8 tonight, and the disturbing murder of a kindergarten teacher. She had also become a mother recently when police say she had been killed by her husband. I-Team 8's Kat Sandoval is talking with her parents, sharing their heartbreak and what their message is tonight.
Just a few steps from where I'm standing is where they found 26-year-old Amber Morgan's body. She was brutally murdered, and we got a chance to speak to her parents.
This was a woman that they don't make them like that.
Corey Morgan described his daughter as a bright star who loved being a mother.
That Friday night, she went to Costco with her mother, and she took everything up 2 flights of stairs, having a 5-week-old baby.
That was the last time the parents saw her. Corey requested we call his daughter by her maiden name, Morgan. Her husband, Robert Cooley, confessed to the murder, telling officers, "I did something bad. I need to go to jail. And then later, I took my wife's life." Police found Amber Saturday morning in her home. Police say her face was beaten so severely she was unrecognizable. She was shot in the head and her throat slit. Officers saw blood on Cooley's hands and clothing. Amber's parents say there were red flags with Cooley, but didn't think it would go this far.
He was verbally abusing her and what I would call starting to spiral out of control since a little shortly before the birth of the baby.
He threatened me. He tried to engage in a physical altercation with me.
Amber's mom tells us Amber asked for a petition for dissolution of marriage papers the night before she was killed.
We think that he tried to confront her, and she told him something he didn't want to hear.
Amber was a kindergarten teacher at Victory Prep. She taught there for a year.
She just cared for others deeply. She just had a history of connecting with anyone.
Her husband faces a preliminary murder charge and is in Marion County Jail without bond. The parents tell me they will be adopting Amber's 5-week-old baby named Audrey. I'm I-Team 8's Kat Sandoval, Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
There was a time when I barely knew how to turn on a computer. Now,
figuring out what exactly happened in a deadly triple shooting in Queens. Last night, 2 people were killed. A third was injured. Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore live in Richmond Hill with the latest. Good morning, Crystal.
Good morning, Michelle. Well, we've learned from police that all the victims are related. Detectives are calling this a murder-suicide. The horror unfolding at this home right behind me. As you can see, police still have the area taped off as they continue their investigation. But that initial call for help went out around 10:30 last night. This is 111th Street near 95th Avenue. When police got here, they found a 27-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds to his body. Police say medics pronounced him dead at the scene. A 52-year-old woman was rushed to the hospital in stable condition with a gunshot wound in the torso. Now, less than a mile away at 109th Avenue and 96th Street, police say they found the body of a 33-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his head. Detectives finding a firearm next to his body. He was taken to the hospital where medics officially pronounced him dead. No arrests at this time, but again, authorities considering this domestic in nature. It remains unclear at this point what exactly led to the gun violence, but again, police are investigating. We're live in Richmond Hill, Queens. Crystal Cranmore, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
We're getting a better look tonight at the man police say stabbed an MTA bus driver in the neck. Investigators say this man stabbed the 60-year-old bus driver after an argument on board a B99 bus yesterday in East New York, Brooklyn. The Transport Workers Union identified the driver as Isaac Agharvaba, who has worked for the MTA for 17 years. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition.
I'm Mike Marza in for Joe tonight. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but we do begin with a deadly shooting tonight in the Bronx. Cops say a man in his 30s was shot several times in the head and chest. This was in Morris Park. Police were called to the corner of 2nd Avenue and Williamsbridge Road shortly after 5:30 tonight, where they discovered the victim. He was rushed to Jacoby Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Police say 2 men spotted leaving the scene, but so far, nobody has been arrested. New tonight.
A 97-year-old woman is recovering tonight after police say that she was attacked by a man on a moped. That woman just on her way home in Harlem when in a matter of seconds, she says the man snatched her necklace, knocked her to the ground. News 4's Miles Miller live in Harlem now with what we know about this attack. Miles.
Well, she was taking it slow, walking back home from 125th Street. She's out every day. She did not realize that this man was going to rip her off, but luckily, people in the neighborhood who have a lot of sense and a lot of care for older people decided to make sure that she was safe after she was ripped off. 97-year-old Thelma Mason's day is not complete without a morning coffee and a neighborhood stroll. But her daily routine took a terrifying turn on May 24th.
And this young man, he was at the bus stop down there in the front of the drugstore. When I saw him on this bike, I saw him, he looked at me and I looked at him. I thought he was going to cross the street. Then he turned and looked at me again and he started his bike up. And then he came after me and everything so close and just snatched the chain off my neck.
This is the man police say snatched her chain while riding a scooter on West 127th Street and 8th Avenue. The 18-karat gold necklace is priceless, a gift from her daughter. The attack left Thelma with a nasty gash on her arm and bruised hip.
I wondered, will I ever walk again?
Despite the trauma, Thelma refuses to let fear keep her indoors.
I am still going out each and every day. I'm not going to let it stop me, because if I stop, I will never go out. I have to go out, because I don't want nobody to make me be a prisoner in my own house.
She'd been worried about thieves on scooters given the 80-plus scooter robberies we told you about just last week.
And they're snatching the gold and everything, trying to sell it, I guess, to get a few dollars instead of getting a job. What I think they should do is go out here and get a job and stop stealing.
Her message to her attacker:
I hope he be caught and sentenced to jail for 90 years. He don't need to be on the street, because if he be on the street, he gonna do it to somebody else. So I hope he go to jail for it.
Absolutely heartless. If you know anything about who that man may be, go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. The number, of course, 800-577-TIPS. Live in Harlem, I'm Miles Miller, News 4 New York.